If glucosamine disappointed you for your joints, you didn't fail the supplement. The supplement failed you because it addressed only half the problem. Here's the distinction that changes everything about what joint supplements can actually do. Joint pain and stiffness in adults over 50 involves two concurrent mechanisms. Most people know about the first, cartilage breakdown. Glucosamine provides building blocks for cartilage repair. That's legitimate and it helps some people. But there's a second mechanism operating independently that glucosamine never touches: the quality of the synovial fluid inside your joints. Synovial fluid is the lubricating substance inside your joints. When it's at the right viscosity, joint surfaces glide against each other with minimal friction. This viscosity depends on a molecule called hyaluronic. At sufficient concentrations, hyaluronic gives synovial fluid its gel-like consistency. As hyaluronic concentrations decline, which happens naturally after 30 due to reduced fibroblast activity in the synovial membrane, the fluid thins. Thinner fluid means more friction between joint surfaces, more mechanical stress on cartilage, more inflammatory signaling, and the progressive pain and stiffness most people accept as inevitable aging. You can take all the glucosamine you want. If your synovial fluid has deteriorated because of hyaluronic depletion, you're addressing the cartilage problem while leaving the lubrication problem untouched. Joint genesis targets the mechanism glucosamine doesn't address. Joint genesis leads with Mobilee, a patented natural hyaluronic acid matrix that has been studied in 14 clinical trials. Standard hyaluronic acid supplements face a fundamental challenge: the hyaluronic molecule is large and doesn't survive digestion effectively. Most oral HA supplements don't produce meaningful increases in synovial fluid concentrations because the molecule is degraded before utilization. Mobilee is not standard hyaluronic acid. It's a natural matrix derived from rooster comb that includes hyaluronic along with collagen and polysaccharides in a structural complex that improves bioavailability. The 14 clinical trials on Mobilee specifically show it can increase hyaluronic concentration in synovial fluid by up to 10 times with consistent supplementation. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in Aging Clinical and Experimental Research found meaningful improvements in knee joint pain, mobility, and quality of life in older adults with knee osteoarthritis. Supporting Mobilee is Pycnogenol, French maritime pine bark extract with one of the most robust anti-inflammatory evidence profiles in botanical medicine. A comprehensive review published in PLOS I covered 61 randomized controlled trials on Pycnogenol across inflammatory conditions including osteoarthritis, finding consistent evidence of meaningful anti-inflammatory effects through NF-κB pathway modulation. This is a central mechanism of chronic joint inflammation. Boswellia serrata completes the anti-inflammatory layer through a different pathway. Its AKBA compound specifically inhibits 5-lipoxygenase and the leukotriene before it produces a potent inflammatory mediator particularly relevant to joint tissue. Pycnogenol and Boswellia together address inflammation through two complementary pathways that neither covers alone. Ginger root adds additional anti-inflammatory support. Bioperine enhances the bioavailability of all other ingredients. The anti-inflammatory components, Pycnogenol and Boswellia, respond relatively quickly, and most users report meaningful reductions in joint stiffness and morning discomfort within 3 to 4 weeks. The synovial fluid restoration component from Mobilee builds over a longer timeline. Peak benefit from the viscosity restoration mechanism is typically at 6 to 12 weeks of consistent daily use. Joint genesis tends to produce noticeable improvement relatively soon from the anti-inflammatory compounds, with continued improvement over the following months as synovial fluid quality improves. Most common complaint is that results require time and patience. Accurate and mechanistically expected, rebuilding hyaluronic concentrations in joint fluid is a biological process that can't be rushed. Second most common complaint is price relative to drugstore glucosamine. The comparison isn't meaningful, they address different mechanisms. Glucosamine for cartilage building, joint genesis for synovial fluid viscosity through a patented, 14-trial-backed mechanism. Third complaint is that free shipping only starts at the 3-bottle tier. Valid practical note: for a product requiring consistent use over 60 to 90 days minimum, the 3-bottle option is more practical anyway. If you've tried glucosamine without results, if your joints have progressively worsened, or if you want to address the root cause mechanism before making a decision, complete Mobilee clinical trial data, all ingredients analyzed, complaint investigation, current pricing with guarantee, and official website are in the description. Like, comment, subscribe.